Good morning, good morning, good morning. Checking the technology here. Hi, welcome to the Dad Stress Reduction Challenge. I'm taking this step to go live for a number of reasons, but primarily because I'm coming across this with dads who I coach increasingly, that the underlying stress is causing a whole load of other problems which are undiagnosed. That's mental, physical, and the phone goes. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. I've got to take it out. Whoa, turn off. Go away. Go away. It's live. Okay. Yeah. So the idea is that I'm going to be doing a number of videos daily, maybe a couple of times a week over the next week or so to cover some of the problems that I've been encountering with dads, which relate to the fact that they're not really sure what's going on in their headspace. That in itself is the underlying cause of these problems. So it's kind of an auditing process. It's tax season after all, to try and work out those areas that need to be treated or dealt with first. For example, in my own case, I dealt with a problem when I was a lawyer that I had my first child. It was really busy. We had a very, very demanding schedule, and I got married and the first baby came very quickly. And I didn't want to be away from my first child. So I worked out that no matter what I did, no matter how much time I spent, I tried to work harder in the office to keep, get things done quickly, get home. And it wasn't working for me. And it actually gave me some postpartum depression, which does happen in men. And it was one of those situations where I had to deal with the underlying cause, which was the fact that I just literally did not want to be apart from my wife and baby. So it was a kind of a more professional fix of, I literally just uprooted my office and moved it to home at a time when people didn't do it. That way, I took a risk in some respects because clients, I would just sit with the baby and talk to them. And it kind of helped because they actually quite liked it. They felt it imbued more trust because they thought, well, okay, this guy's got a baby. He can't be that bad a lawyer. He's sitting in his front room giving me advice. Once I got past that sort of risk hurdle, a lawyer who has a baby and works at home, it actually really solved quite a lot of problems. And, literally that stressor was removed. Life stress is something we have to deal with. We are hunter-gatherers at heart. And that's one thing. But when it's in your own space, when it's in your own castle and you can't control it, you don't have peace in your mind and in your relationships, that's when things go sideways. So the challenge is really for you to join me with a number of free trainings, which are going to be dealing with finding out what's going on in your head, how to deal with it, practical fixes, time. Time is at the core of most stress. You don't have time to exercise. You don't have time to chill out with your wife or your friends. You don't have time with the children. You got feelings of guilt, and all that is in the mix before you even think about, looking after your health. So a lot of what I talk about is about time and prioritizing what is really important to you, because once you do, life doesn't seem quite as bad. In my case, as I say, I prioritize being my wife and children. That has saved me from lots of stress, including the financial stress of losing everything in the Wall Street debacle. But I knew every day in that moment I was there doing what made me me. And I'm trying to find out what makes you you. So if you need any guidance on that, please message me. I have a lot of experience in that, but I also like to learn from what's going on, what's current. So, as I say, stress. Let's deal with that. You have to treat stress as an absolute necessity. You'll make time to go and watch the ball game. You'll make that time to go and have a beer, but you won't have that quiet time to actually reflect on who you are. And that's at the real center of a major chunk of modern stress. Stress was designed for fight or flight. And it wasn't designed to be constant. It was designed to be for those moments when we had to hunt and gather and live in caves. We didn't have constant stress. the stress was that we would have to find food and shelter. And those moments, the cortisol pour into your system, and you would try and, I never did this, but but you know, our ancestors had to hunt, and they went and they had to find the creature, drag it back to the cave, and then there would be the feast, famine, feast, famine. When the famine hit, off we go. Now that famine is almost every day. We have to be on social media 50 times a day. We have to be, you know, captains of industry all the time. The phone is going. We have to check our messages and reply. Again, a lot of what I talk about is how to schedule your day so that you're not constantly looking to respond to everything that you have to deal with. And then when all that's done, then you'll have time to relax. It doesn't work that way. They can coexist. I know a lot of dads who literally, from the moment they wake up, do not stop. They just literally will refuse to take that 5 minutes, even when they're absolutely shattered, to take the time to stop, think about what is really important, because a lot of what you have to deal with in the day is not that important. You know, if you miss replying to a few social media comments, so be it. Most emails you get, it's very instant. I grew up in an era when you had to sit down and think, okay, which letters can I write? Letters took a long time to write. You had to think about them, and then if you either handwrote them or you gave them to a secretary to type up, and it has to go in the post, and you would get a response for 2 or 3 days. And then we started to get fax machines, and then that made things more urgent. You expected a quicker response, but now it's literally milliseconds, and people are checking their phones a ridiculous amount of time. So I know these dads who literally, the only time they stop is when they get to their driveway at the end of the evening and think, I need 5 minutes just to literally just feel like I want to punch the steering wheel. Not healthy, and there are other ways to do it. Trust. You have to create a system so that you're not at war with what's going on in your mind. By that, I mean pushing away the constant stressful thoughts that you have. And it really does work. I discovered ways when I was really struggling financially and I wanted to stay connected with my family. I didn't want to lose my whole purpose was to be and bring my children up. And for a period of time, I thought, I'm going to have to go and get a job. I'm not going to be the entrepreneur I've always been. I'm going to have to leave them. And it crushed me. And I just thought I had to find a different way to deal with that, which for me was creating an online business. I didn't know anything about the internet. You've probably got your inner genius, which will come out when you're stressed, of how to push forward with or deal with your work colleagues differently, work through the corporate ladder differently. And you need time to think about that, and you probably haven't got it. So that will affect your relationships. And then the stress also affects how you communicate. The problem that I encountered with having financial pressure is that I just was too busy to think about what I was saying a lot of the time to my nearest and dearest. And it's not that I was rude or angry or shouted and screamed, but I literally didn't have the time to hear what they were saying. And communication is as much about what that other person is actually trying to convey to you as much as what you're trying to say. And this is, again, something that I've been encountering, that busy dads tend to be poor communicators of their emotions. So it comes out as frustration. It comes out as anger. It comes out as impatience. So I found ways, and again, I'm self-taught. I'm not a psychologist. I'm just worked on this. So for the whole time I've been a father of 25, 26 years, of finding out how to hear what your child is saying to you before you even react. It's a difficult thing to do when you're busy. But they really are, most of the time, they are not trying to be naughty, not trying to be difficult. I don't know if you've watched any of Chris Hemsworth's series, Limitless. It's absolutely fascinating. On the surface, he's a successful actor. He's the actor who plays Thor in the Disney Marvel series. And he has hit the pinnacle of success, but in the first episode of Limitless, you really should watch that because it encapsulates so much of what I hear every day. He's absolutely stressed out to the point where he suffers anxiety. He suffers anxiety about what people think about his children if they're misbehaving in a restaurant. We've all been there. But to the point where he was getting palpitations, and they'd taken through different exercises, which, walking on a high building, I won't give too much away, putting his body under stress in order to deal with the reactions that come. And it is a chemical reaction. So being mindful of your circumstances, being mindful of what people around you are saying to you is a very important element of alleviating your stress. And the system that you need to employ does not take a lot of time, but you have to be committed to do it. So I sometimes refuse to work with dads as a coach because I know they won't deploy it. They want a quick fix answer, and it's not a pill you can take. It's a practice. Your practice at lifting weights, your practice at shooting pool and being better, your practice throwing a football. It's the same thing, but it does need commitment. So dealing with stress, it does really take a mindset. It takes a lot of massive action, but more often than not, those small steps that you take are the ones that will help you to change. And you won't see it coming necessarily, but when you do get the change, you miss it. It's automatic, and you can only usually gauge it from how people are responding to you. So I hope you'll join me. It's a Catch-22 challenge for this reason. The reason most people don't change their stress is because they are stressed. So, and it's a cycle that you really cannot break. That's the definition of what a Catch-22 is. So this is a series of videos designed to give you a quick boost. The videos are not going to be more than 5 minutes, sometimes less. Little tips you can just implement. I'd love you to really just have a go. There's no commitment either way. But I figure this is the best way I can reach the largest number of dads and to see what works and what doesn't. Because really stress, it can seem like an impossible problem, but it's the very cause of that problem that you're getting. So I hope that you'll join me. Please follow my hashtag High Achieving Dads, which is, and if you need any more deep dive type of help from me, then please reach out. The videos will be, I'd say, intermittently. If I can do them daily, I will. But just follow. Let me know what you want to see. Let me know what doesn't resonate, because I'm trying to get better too. All right. And have the best day you can. I wish you all the best for this year, and see you in the challenge. And I cannot wait to just find out how you're dealing with your stress. Thanks again.